Hello everybody, Cosplay Lego here, and today we will be doing another Iron Man House Party Protocol collection update. So this is all my Lego Iron Man. This is my collection, and I call this the House Party Protocol because that's the protocol where in Iron Man 3 Tony Stark brings out all the Iron Men. So here it is, the House Party Protocol. Here they all are. So, it's been a while since I've done an update on this collection, and I do have quite a few more since the last time. So, what I'm going to do is go through every single one with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. And there's only a few I'm missing, well, two in fact. I'm missing the Hulkbuster Mark II, which is the Mark 48, and also the Mark 49, which is the rescue suit. So, those two I don't quite have yet, but every single other one is here. So that includes the Mark 1, the Mark II, the Mark 3, the Mark 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 50, and 85. So let's get into them one by one, starting with the Mark 1. So here we have the Mark 1. Now I'm pretty happy with this Mark 1. I think this is very good looking Mark 1. So the way I got this Mark 1 is the torso and legs are from just the Lego Mark 1, which I got in the set, which I reviewed last week. So if you want to see that video, then you can check that out. And the helmet is from this knockoff Iron Man I got off eBay ages ago, and that's the Iron Man that you saw in my last collection update. So I think the torso and legs from the Lego one go very well with this knockoff helmet, and all in all, it's a very good looking Mark 1. So there it is, around all the sides. There we go. And we can flip up the helmet, and it's just got a clear head inside. I'm thinking of adding a Tony Stark head instead of this clear head, but for now, the clear head's fine. There's that. And that's the Mark 1. Next up, the Mark II. So this is a complete knockoff. None of this is official Lego, and as you can see, it is a very cool looking knockoff, as it's got that shiny chrome color, which makes it look just like what it looks like in the movies. Now, eventually, I might have to switch this out for just a dull silver color, but for now, the chrome works well, and it actually looks really good. So, myself from a few years ago, I colored in the arc reactor with a aqua paint, and I did this on a lot of them. You can see it. I won't mention it every time, but I did that with a lot of them. Also colored in the eyes. In reflection, a few years later, I'm not sure if I'm too happy about myself doing that to all of them, but you know, it looks all right. Still looks good. And if you open up the here's the back. Very good looking Iron Man. If you open up the helmet, we've just got Tony Stark's head on the inside. And I also painted in the collar around his neck to make it look like it was more inside the suit. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this Mark II. Very good looking figure. So let's move on. So next we have the Mark III. And as you can see, this is a very cool Mark III. Complete knockoff. But yeah, very cool Mark III. And you can see the red is actually darker than a lot of the other Iron Men, and I actually don't mind it. I think it actually works pretty well on the Mark III. But yeah, very cool looking figure, and I think the head looks really silly, and you can see this on a lot of the knockoffs. Just the eyes just seem a little bit off, but it's okay. I can switch this out for a Lego one if I want to. And if you open up the helmet, you can see Tony Stark in here. Cool design for his head. Flip that back down. Yeah, Mark III, pretty simple. Didn't have it last time, but we've got it now. And that's the Mark III. And also, you could have seen this in my Mark III Lego transformation, which I uploaded probably a few weeks ago now. But cool video, go watch it if you want. Okay, so here we have the Mark IV. Now this is a knockoff as well. As you can see, just your everyday Mark IV. Cool design, works well. You can also see this in my Mark IV transformation, which I did recently, my suit up stop motion. But yeah, very good design for the Mark IV. Does the job. If you flip up the helmet, we got Tony Stark chilling in there, painted in his collar, also painted in the arc reactor, and I think I smudged it a little bit. That's no good, but still looks good. That's the Mark IV. Let's move on. Okay, so here we have the Mark V, and this is the first fully Lego figure in my Lego collection, which is funny. Yeah, so this is just from that that Hall of Armor set that came out a year ago, which I did a review on last week. And yeah, as I said in that review, I really like this figure. Awesome design for the Mark V. Works a lot better than any other knockoff I've had in the past. So yeah, as you can see also, flip up the head, and there's just a clear head on the inside, but that's okay. Tony Stark can't be in every suit at once. So yeah, that's the Mark V. Awesome design. Yeah, that's it, Mark V. Okay, so now it is time for the Mark VI. Yeah, so this is basically just Legos 1 and then painted in arc reactor, painted in eyes, unfortunately. But, oh yeah, and also painted in color. But yeah, very cool looking Mark VI. Just Legos, what you'd expect, does the job, great looking Mark VI. And yeah, very happy to have it in the collection. Next we have the Mark VII. Now this is very similar to the Mark VI, just the Lego version, came out in 2012. Of course, painted in arc reactor eyes. Yep, this is one of the, I forgot to mention this in the Mark VI, but the 6 and 7 are Lego's first ever Iron Men that they made. Iron Mans, I don't know. First ever Iron Man figures that they made, so they're the least detailed of them all. But they still do the job, and they're still very good figures. As you can see, of course, flip up the head. Got Tony Stark chilling in there. How you doing, Tony? He's good? That's good. Put the helmet down. Yeah, there we go. That's the Mark VII. Now, back into the realm of knockoffs. Here we have the Mark VIII. Knockoff figure, but still looks very good. Yeah, as you can see, it's in a much lighter red color than a lot of the previous ones and the Lego ones, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think I definitely would have preferred the normal red color, but I mean, it's still alright, still a very good Mark VIII. Yeah, and if you flip up the head, Tony Stark in there, very cool figure. And yeah, there we go. That's the Mark VIII. Now, the Mark IX is a bit of a different story. So, this is technically custom, but also technically Lego. Because all the pieces that make up this Mark IX are all just official Lego pieces. But the way I made it was by piecing them together to make something that looked like the Mark IX. Because in the movie, the Mark IX has the same torso as the Mark VII, paired with the same legs as the Mark 17. And Lego already has a Mark 7 and a 17. So I just paired them together, and it's the Mark IX. And I mean, it looks like the Mark IX, so yeah, that's my Mark IX. And I went into this a lot more in depth in my sort of showcase video for this Mark IX. So if you want to see that, there'll be a link in the description and up there to that. So yeah, there we go. That's the Mark IX. Oh, and also, yep, Anthony Stark is in there if you flip up his head. Yeah, Mark IX. There we go. Back to the land of knockoffs. Here we have the Mark X. This is very similar to the Mark VIII in that it's in that lighter red color. Yeah, would have preferred a dark one, but it's okay. Yeah, there we go. Mark X. Very cool. flip it up. Ah, come on. There you go. There's Tony Stark. Really weird printing, but still Tony Stark. And there we go. Awesome design. That's the Mark 10. Oh yeah, in the back. There you go. That's what it looks like from behind. That's the Mark 10. There we go. Now the Mark 11, same sort of idea, just a knockoff in that lighter red color. There we go. That's what it looks like. Sick. Mark 11. Flip up the helmet. There's Tony Stark, painted in the collar. Don't know why I didn't on the others, but there it is. And that's the Mark 11. And yeah, let's move on. Now the Mark 12, the first one in a while that isn't red and gold. Very cool design. Grey and sort of bronzy goldy color. Very, very cool looking Iron Man mark, but yeah, here's the Mark 12. It's just a knockoff. There's the back. Come right here. Flip it up. There's Tony Stark. Flip it down. He's gone. That's the Mark 12. There we go. And here we go on to the Mark 13. Really cool design. I like how it's got that triangular arc reactor. But yeah, if you just turn it around, looks exactly like what the Mark 13 looks like. Very cool. Flip up the helmet. Oh, and we got a transparent head because Tony Stark was just in the Mark 12. He can't be already in the Mark 13. But yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 13. Let's move on. Here we have the Mark 14. Now, it's you know, accurate to what it looks like in the movie. Really interesting how it's just the one grey colour. It's probably the most dull looking of all the Iron Man suits. But yeah, you know, that's it. That's the Mark 14. And we can flip up its head to see transparent in there. Close it. But yeah, that's the Mark 14. Cool design, just another knockoff. And yeah, let's move on. Okay, so here we have the Mark 15. Very cool looking design for the Mark 15. This is just another knockoff, but it's very good, does the job. I like the designs all around it. Very cool. And if you flip up the helmet, we've got Tony Stark in there. Now, I don't know if I had this in my last showcase, but I did try and make a custom Mark 15, and this was before I got this knockoff. And I'd just like to show it to you guys. That's what it looks like. So you can tell the knockoff is definitely a vast improvement over whatever this is. So yeah, that's the Mark 15, and let's move on. Okay, so here we have the Mark 16, aka Nightclub, I think it was called. Yeah, very cool. Very cool design. Looks just like what it looks like in the movie. You know, red, gold. Yeah, just red, gold. Flip up the helmet. Clear see-through in there. Very cool. Printing all around all the sides. Cool knockoff. Does the job. Now, the Mark 16 is weird because it either appears in the classic red and gold look, or it also, because it's a stealth suit, I think it can change into being black as well. So I've got this. This is the one I actually originally had, but I have this black version of the Mark 16 as well, and I actually decided to change to the red and gold one because that's the one that's, I think, seen more commonly, because that's the one that he wears when he actually puts it on in the final fight of Iron Man 3, and it's actually red and gold in that. So I thought I'd get the red and gold one as the primary one, but I've still got this black one as a backup, and I've even got this transparent one because it's stealth and he's see-through if he's like this. So yeah, he's pretending to be see-through stealth suit. I don't know, but I've got a few of them because they're all so cheap, the knockoffs. So yeah, that's the Mark 16. Okay, so here we have the Mark 17, aka Heartbreaker, and this is sort of seen as the leader of the Iron Legion or House Party Protocol. So yeah, this is a knockoff version, and Lego does have a version of it, but it only appeared in one set in 2013, so it is a bit expensive, and I would like to eventually get my hands on it, but for now I've just got this knockoff, and if I'm going to be honest, the Lego one looks much better. I don't know why this knockoff looks like this, but it's okay, still does the job. Mark 17, got Tony Stark just chilling in there, close it up, does the job. It's actually really cool because it's got a lot of printing, like side of the leg, back of the leg. So it is pretty cool printing, but I just don't know about that chest design. But anyway, that's the Mark 17. It does the job. Okay, so here we have the Mark 18. This is another knockoff. And yeah, very cool looking Mark 18. Turn it round. Got printing everywhere. What you'd expect. You can flip up the face. Just clear on the inside. But that's alright. So yeah, that's the Mark 18. And yeah, that's it. Let's go on to the next one. So here we have the Mark 19. And I actually really like this design. I think it's very cool. So yeah, it's got arm printing, no leg printing. Very cool printing. The face looks awesome. I like how it's got that red strip along it. Very cool Mark 19. Very happy to have it in my collection. Turn it around, flip up the face. There is Tony Stark in there. Flip it back down. Yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 19. And here we go, Mark 20. This is a very cool Mark 20. Very simple design for the torso, but it gets the job done. Turn it around. That's what the back looks like. Turn it back round. That's the front again. Flip up the face. Very weird face for Tony Stark, but Tony Stark nonetheless. And there we go. That's the Mark 20. So here we have the Mark 21, and I think this is one of my favorites. It's very cool how it's got that shiny gold look to it. Very cool. It is another knockoff, but it is a great knockoff. So you can turn it around. Got cool back printing. Now the Mark 21 is actually identical to the Mark 7, except with a different paint job. And I like how this remains consistent with that, in that this printing is the exact same as the printing for the Lego Mark 7, which is very cool. And you can flip up the head, and we have Tony Stark in there, just chilling, enjoying his fully gold suit. Very cool. So that's the Mark 21. Yeah, very cool. Now on to the Mark 22, aka Hot Rod. This is an awesome suit. It was made as a prototype for War Machine, and you can definitely see that through the design. It very much looks like a War Machine suit. So yeah, but very, very cool design. No side arm, side leg printing. It would have been nice to see the fire pattern on the side of the arms, like what you see on the feet, but that's okay. Very cool looking design. And if you flip up the helmet, we got Tony Stark in here with his derpy face. There we go. Mark 22. Cool looking design. So yeah, let's move on. And here we have the Mark 23. Now this is definitely one of my favorites. Very cool looking Mark 23. It's got very intricate detailing around the entire head of this sort of camo pattern. So it's very cool looking. It's got it all around. It's got arm printing, back printing, which looks sick. And the face looks really cool. Looks just like what it looks like in the movies. Flip it up, we've got a see-through head underneath. Flip it down. Just really cool looking Mark 23. So, yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 23. Now, similarly to how the Mark 21 is the same as the Mark 7, the Mark 24 is the same as the Mark 17. So I really like how, similarly, they've done the exact same thing in copying the exact same design for the Mark 17, which Lego use on theirs, and recoloring it and using it on the Mark 24. I just like that consistency, and it looks really cool. So, yeah, I really like this Mark 24. It's got some nice back printing, nice front printing. Flip up the helmet. We got see-through head under there. So yeah, very cool Mark 24. Next we have the Mark 25. Now this is a very cool knockoff. I like it. I like how it's got that shoulder armor. It looks great with the helmet. It's got amazing printing even on the shoulder armor, on the legs if you can see that in there. On the back. Oh, gee, he's on fully. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but very, very cool design for the Mark 25. And also, what I love is these amazing brick-built, what are they called? They're like, I don't know what they are, but I think they're for construction, but they're on the Mark 25, and they look amazing, being brick-built and also printed on as a knockoff. They look really good. And it's a little bit hard to get the helmet up with the big chest piece on, but if you take it off, you can see we have a see-through head in there. Very cool. Put it back on. That's the Mark 25, looking awesome. If you look at the previous Mark 25 I had, it was just this other knockoff, which I sort of sculpted this arm onto, and I actually lost the other one. but you can just tell the brick-built ones look so much better than whatever this sculpted thing was. So yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 25, looking awesome. And here we have the Mark 26 suit. Now this is the exact same as the Mark 25 in real life, except with just a redesign, and I really like that. It's got a very cool design to it, looking amazing. It's got the exact same brick built hammer things, whatever. It's got the helmet, amazing chest piece design, really great all around. And yeah, I really like this Mark 26. Same way I like the Mark 25, and I can't choose one between them because they're both so perfect. Yeah, so anyway, that's the Mark 26, and it's also got see-through head underneath if you flip up the headpiece. There we go. So yeah, that's the Mark 26. Okay, so here we have the Mark 27, aka Disco, and it's a really cool design. You know, it does the job. It's actually pretty simple, but you know, if it's simple and it gets the job done, then there's nothing wrong with it. And this is the same Mark 27 I had last time. And you can flip up the face shell, and for some reason it's got this weird robotic face in it. I don't know why. Just chuck Tony Stark in there next time. Anyway, but that's okay. Mark 27 gets the job done. Very cool. Here we have the Mark 28, and this is the same as last time as well. As you can see, it's a simple design, similarly to the Mark 27, but you know, it gets the job done. You can flip up the face shell, and we got Tony Stark in there as well. And I said this 3 years ago when I did my last collection update, and I'm going to say it again. I think it's a really cool design for Tony Stark's face. He looks very smug with himself. But yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 28. Now, on to the Mark 29. Now, this is another knockoff, and is very similar to the Mark 25 and 26, except it only has one thing. So yeah, it's a very cool design for the Mark 29. It looks very cool. You can flip up the head, and we have, I think, a see-through head. Yep, see-through head in there. Very cool. Though, I'm not sure if this dark grey colour is very accurate, or even the gold helmet. I think probably a grey helmet and then a black torso would have looked a bit better. And I did have an older version of this, and I'm just trying to... Here it is. This is my older version. Of course, it's got the sculpted hand thing, which I much prefer the brick-built one, but I just think the colours are a lot more accurate on the old one, so I may upgrade this old one and just, in future, use this old one with the new one's handpiece. But I don't know, for now, we'll just use the new one. It looks alright. So yeah, there we go, that's the Mark 29. Now, onto the Mark 30. This is blue steel. Very cool looking design. You can see, because Mark 30 is identical to the Mark 33, they've modeled it after the Lego version of the Mark 33. But yeah, it's a very cool suit, and definitely one of my favorites. You can see it's got printing everywhere. It's got this little armor piece at the top, which really emulates the shape of the Mark 30 very well. And you flip up the helmet. I think it's got a see-through head, if I'm right. Yes, I am right. There we go. So yeah, that's the Mark 30. Now, on to the Mark 31. This is the same Mark 31 as I had last time, and as you can see, it's got a very simple printing design, but it gets the job done. It's a very cool Mark 31. Turn it around, printing on the back, the front of the torso, and the front of the legs, but it doesn't have any arm or leg printing, like quite a few of them, and of course the best ones are always the ones with arm and leg printing, but that's okay. Without it, it still looks fine. You can flip up the head, and we have Tony Stark in here. I think that doesn't really look that much like Tony Stark, but anyway, that's the Mark 31. Really cool. So yeah, let's move on. Now on to the Mark 32. Now this is a knockoff Lego figure, like like almost every single other one in the past. But yeah, you turn it around, got back printing, no Lego arm printing, but still very good looking figure. Flip up the head. I think we've got Tony Stark in here. We do. Oh, he looks very happy. He's very happy with his Mark 32. And so am I. So, there we go. That's the Mark 32. Now, here we have the Mark 33. Now, this is a knockoff, but there is a Lego one, and I'm pretty sure that it was available in a poly bag, if you pre-ordered Lego Marvel's Avengers the game, and I got that game, but I didn't actually pre-order it, so I never got the Lego version, and the Lego version looks great, probably one of the best Lego Iron Man, but because it was so exclusive, it's a bit pricey now, and it's pretty expensive. So for now, I would eventually like to get it, but for now, I've just got this knockoff version, which looks almost identical. So yeah, but all round, pretty good Mark 33. Very similar to the Mark 30. Turn it round, you can flip up the head, and we have Tony Stark in here with his bloody black eye, which he had in the movie when he wore it. So yeah, that's the Mark 33. Now on to the Mark 34, another knockoff. I got this one recently. As you can see, it's got very cool design for this shoulder armor, which it's added on, and I'm very happy with the armor because the ones with the armor always look the best. So yeah, and then it's got this little arc reactor here. I would have liked a bit of printing underneath the armor here because there's not really any. It's pretty bland, but it's all right without it. As you can see, he's got this little claw in his left hand, which is accurate to the movie, but the actual knockoff figure came with a claw in each hand, and I had to take the right hand out because he only got it in one. But yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 34, and if we flip up the head, we have clear head underneath. So there we go, Mark 34. Now, onto the Mark 35, aka Red Snapper. This is very similar to the Mark 34, except it's got a claw in either hand. It's got the same design for the shoulder armor, with also no printing down here, which I think I would have preferred, but maybe it's a bit hard to print down there, considering it is a very detailed type surface, hard to get in there with the stamp, but that's okay. It's got very good printing all around everywhere else, as you can see. And also, if you flip up the head, which actually very cool printing on the head as well. If you look at that, flip up the head, it's got a clear head, I'm pretty sure. Yep, clear head. And there we go, that's the Mark 35. And if you remember in my last collection video, I had a different Mark 35. And here that is. And though I did like these claw arm designs, I do much prefer this new one because it is a lot more accurate in the head and it's got that shoulder armor, and yeah, so I'm very happy to get this new one here. So yeah, that's it, that's the Mark 35. So here we have the Mark 36, aka Peacemaker. This is very similar to the Mark 35 and 34, except it doesn't have those claw pieces, but it's still got that big shoulder armor, and once again, no printing on the armor here, which I would have liked, but yeah, there's none there, but there wasn't any on the 34 or 35 as well. As you can see, very cool design for the 36. You can lift up the helmet, and there is a clear head on the inside. Very cool. And I did have a previous version of the Mark 36, and that looked like this. And if I'm going to be completely honest, the new one is much better. I don't know why this one's got a gold head or anything. It's pretty inaccurate. So I'm very happy with this new one. So yeah, that's the Mark 36. Now onto the 37. Now this is an official Lego minifigure, and I've heard from a lot of people that this is meant to be the Mark 37, but if I'm going to be completely honest, it doesn't actually look too accurate. Like the printing, the colors are the same. It's generally, it's close enough, but it is still slightly different to the Mark 37 in the printing's a little bit different and the shapes on the chest are a bit different. But that's okay. I mean, it does pretty well as being a Mark 37, and definitely I'd always choose a Lego thing over a knockoff. It did also come with armor, but I didn't think it looked right because, I mean, it did look good with the armor, but compared to a lot of the other ones who didn't have armor, it just really stood out and it looked bigger than it actually should be. So if you turn it around, it's got very good printing. And of course, the plastic that's actually used to make it is a lot better than all of the knockoffs because it is official Lego. And yeah, that's something to know about buying knockoffs. The plastic quality is very, very poor. So if you flip up the head, we do have Tony Stark in here. Just the Lego one. Flip it back down. There we go. All good. That's Tony Stark. That's the Mark 37. And yeah, now let's move on. So here we have the Mark 38, aka Igor. Now this is a knockoff Big Fig, and this is an amazing Big Fig. I think the mold for this looks great. It is an amazing Big Fig, and I'm very happy with it to have it in my collection. I had this last time as well, so there's nothing new here. If you saw my last video from 3 years ago, then you could have seen that there. And also, I recently got the Lego Hall of Armor, as I mentioned a few times before, and of course that comes with the Mark 38 as well. So I'll just quickly bring this out for comparison. Here we have the brick built Lego one, and I go into this a bit more in depth in my review video of the set that this comes in, but you can just tell I much prefer this one over the brick built one. Looks a lot more accurate, and it's a lot more to scale with the other figures. So yeah, definitely prefer this over the brick built one, and it is a great Mark 38. And here we have the Mark 39, aka Gemini, and this is his suborbital flight suit. And there is also a Lego, well, people say it's a Lego version, and unlike the Mark 37, which was a bit inaccurate, the Lego version, or it's meant to be, is incredibly inaccurate. So that's why I originally used this, but that's why I decided to switch over to a knockoff version, because it's just so much more accurate to this, which doesn't really look, I mean, it's fair, it came out in a comic book set, so it's probably not even meant to be the Mark 39. So definitely this looks a lot more accurate to the Mark 39. So yeah, that's the Mark 39. So here we have the Mark 40, and this pretty much hasn't changed at all since the last showcase, I don't think. And as you can see, it's just a knockoff design, very simple, just with the torso and legs and back torso printing, no arms, no legs printing. And I actually sculpted on the head to make it look a bit more flat, because he doesn't really have that many, that doesn't have those lines inside the helmet. It's really flat on the front, so I sculpted over it and sanded it down to try and make it look a bit more flat. And I don't know how well it succeeded, but it does look okay. Does the job as the Mark 40, aka shotgun. And if we lift up the helmet, we do have Tony Stark in here, looking very cool. I think I painted in the collar there, if I can see that correctly. Yeah, that's the collar. But yeah, very cool Mark 40. So yeah. Anyway, that's the Mark 40. Now on to the Mark 41, aka Bones. This is very similar to the Mark 5 in that it's from the 2019 Lego Hall of Armor, which I got a week ago, so it's a very new addition to my collection and a drastic increase over the previous knockoff version that I had. So as you can see, very highly detailed Lego minifigure. Turn it round, put that on the back, very cool. Come back round, very cool Mark 40, and if we open up the face shell, we just have the clear head on the inside. So yeah, there we go. That's the Mark 41. Very cool. Once again, if you want to go see me open this and review the set, then by all means, go ahead. So yeah, anyway, that is the Mark 41. Now onto the Mark 42. Now this is a knockoff, but there is a Lego version of this, but it did come out in 2013 and hasn't come out since, so I haven't been able to get my hands on it. But it is, yeah, I would eventually like to get my hands on it. So, but I got this knockoff one to sort of act as a temporary Mark 42 in my collection. And as soon as I got this, I realized that this is an amazing knockoff. I mean, of course, the plastic's the same as any other knockoff, but you just look at the printing. It's got printing on the front of the torso, the legs, the toes, the side of the arms, the side of the legs, of course, on the face shell on the front of the head. But it's also got printing on the back of the legs and the back of the torso, which is something that you'd never see Lego do, just because, of course, this probably chips off a little bit on the back of the legs. But it'd just be, Lego would just never do anything like this. And it's just, it's very cool that how knockoffs can just easily do that. So yeah, but a very cool Mark 42 design, and I'm actually really happy with it. Flip up the face shell, we got a Tony Stark head in there. Very cool. That's the Mark 42. So yeah, very cool knockoff for the Mark 42. And yeah, let's move on. And here we have the Mark 43. Now this is just the This is just the Lego Mark 43 that came out in the Age of Ultron sets. I have quite a few of these because I got a few of them. And yeah, very cool Mark 43. Just the Lego version, printing on the front torso, on the legs, then also printing on the back of the torso. No arm or leg printing, but it was so mass produced that I don't think they were ever going to do that. Here we have, and the face shell can flip up, and we have Tony Stark's head in there. Very cool design for Tony Stark's head, just like everything else, but never gets old. So yeah, there we go, the Mark 43. It's simple, but it gets the job done. Okay, so here we have the Mark 44, aka the Hulkbuster, and this is just the Lego version that came out in the Hulkbuster Smash set from 2015. And I actually did a review on this on my channel, like one of my first ever videos. I think it's probably my fourth ever video was a review of this set when I was much younger. And yeah, so this is just that same Hulkbuster. It's a cool design for the brick built one. It is not very much to scale. As you can see, if you pull out the Lego Hulk, which I've actually got right here, you can see it's definitely a lot bigger than the Hulk, and they look a little bit weird next to each other because the Hulkbuster is meant to be basically the same size as the Hulk. It looks a little bit silly that it's this big. So I don't know, but it's still a very cool design for the Hulkbuster, and definitely does the job in my collection after being there for so many years. Oh, and yes, I also forgot to mention that it can still fit inside the Mark 43 if you just flip it down. Grab the Mark 43, chuck that in there, like that. And there we go. Mark 43's in there. You can bash up the Hulk. So yeah, that's the Mark 44. That's the Hulkbuster. There we go. Now we are onto the Mark 45. Now this appeared in Act 3 of Avengers Age of Ultron. And a lot of people say that this suit looks really weird. I disagree. I think it's actually a very good looking Iron Man suit. The Mark 45, it was just in the final fight of Age of Ultron. But yeah, very cool suit. Just got, only appeared in one set, but it's just got the chest printing, leg printing, and back of the chest printing. Yeah, very cool. I do like how it's integrated this light red color to contrast with the sort of dark red that it's printed onto. Very cool. And we can flip up the head to reveal Tony Stark in there, and he's angry because he's fighting Ultron. But yeah, there we go, flip it back down, and that is the Mark 45. And now we are on to the Mark 46. Now this appeared in the Captain America Civil War sets, and as you can see, younger version of me painted in all these arc reactors, even on the legs, to make it accurate, and I painted it in with this aqua color to make it a bit more vibrant, and I don't know how I feel about it now. It looks alright though. It does, the Lego one does reuse the Mark 43's leg design, which I think there was a bit of backlash about that when it first came out in 2016, but it is still a very cool looking Mark 46, and yeah, so front chest printing, leg printing, which is inaccurate, but still there. Then back chest printing. And if we come to the helmet, we can flip it up. And we got Tony Stark chilling in there. And oh, I only just realized this now. I also tried to paint in the black eye onto Tony Stark, and it looks awful. Look at that. Oh, my painting skills are awful. Awful. Put it away. Never want to see that again. But yeah, that's the Mark 46, and that was from Civil War. So yeah. There we go. That's the Mark 46. Now we move on to the Mark 47, and this appeared in Spider-Man Homecoming. Very cool design, very similar to the Mark 46, but I do like how Lego went and reprinted it and gave it that silver look. Very cool. This hasn't been altered, so this is just the Lego version. On the back, we also have the printing there. I do like how they used a silver codpiece and printed onto that, and then used red legs and attached them onto the silver codpiece. Makes it look a lot more accurate, and I really like it. So this is a pretty good Lego minifigure. If we flip up the helmet, you can see there is no Tony Stark, just a blue transparent head. Very cool. Yeah, so that's the Mark 47 from Spider-Man Homecoming. Very good figure. And yeah, let's move on. Skipping over the Mark 48 and 49 because those are the two that I don't have. Let's go straight on to the Mark 50, which was from Avengers Infinity War. This is the nanotech suit. Very, very cool looking suit. I've always loved this figure. I think this is one of LEGO's best Iron Man figures. It comes with all the printing. It's got, similarly to the Mark 45, it's got that lighter red printing onto the darker red design. So it's very good looking. As you can see, there's printing on the back as well. Yeah, so very cool Mark 50. Flip up the helmet and we got the new design for Tony Stark's head in LEGO. It looks pretty good. And also on the other side, we've got that new HUD printing design which they introduced with this figure. So yeah, very cool looking Mark 50. And yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite LEGO Iron Man figures. Next, we have the Mark 85 from Avengers Endgame. Now, I bought this as a knockoff, even though there is a LEGO version, because I would eventually like to get the LEGO version, but similarly to the Mark 42, I don't quite have it yet, so I thought I'd buy this knockoff as a stand-in. And as soon as I got it, I just realized, gee, this is an amazing knockoff. Like, the printing is incredible. Look at the torso. It's got the torso, cod, it's got the legs, toes, side of the legs, inside of the torso. You don't get that on LEGO. It's got the arms. Printing absolutely everywhere, and it is incredibly highly detailed. So I reckon this is probably my favorite knockoff, just for all that printing that it's got everywhere. So it is an amazing knockoff figure. And if you flip up the head, nothing really special here, just Tony Stark on the inside. But it is a great Mark 85 and a very good knockoff figure and a great way to end this video. So those are all the suits, and now let's wrap this up. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like seeing my new updated collection for all my LEGO Iron Man. And yeah, stay tuned because I will be eventually, hopefully, tracking down the Mark 48 and 49, and with that would be the fully completed collection, but the collection is never over because I will always be adding new armor and upgrading my pre-existing Iron Man. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, chuck us a like. If you really liked it, send it to one of your friends. Maybe they'll like it too. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.